I'm on a roll. I'm on a roll. I'm on a roll after that last video. Listen. The fact. Listen. No. The UK now. I'm talking to you. Everywhere you went back in the day had this little area of Don, the man that talks sense. Be it Brixton, Streatham, East London, obviously, West London, whatever, blah, 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 yeah? Back in the day, everybody was on code, all had sense, you all did the right thing. So, you know, like I said, there was standout guys that talked sense, yeah? Yes. And in many cases, there was more than one. There's certain brothers that were extreme Pan-Africanists, man, yeah? Guys that were, you know, conscious, not to the extreme, but more conscious, but liberal. Yes. All these different kind of brothers, on point, on this level. You know, certain mans you can think of, certain names, certain mans who were like this. So why is it now you're like that? Make it make sense. Don't forget, back in the day, you even had man vying for positions. You know what I mean? You had like certain pro-black brothers being challenged and tested all the time by other guys who, you know, who thought they knew better, who thought they knew more. So if all this going on, yeah, why is it now that you're like this now? Why is it now that you're, you know, the baby mother rates are spiraling, life crime's gone through the roof? Why is it now like that? Don't tell me, well, to an extent it's poverty, but to an extent it's not. Because yeah, you're going to say the Bangladeshi community, they got gangs, blah, blah, blah. Okay, but that's minimal. Not to the extent you have. And they're not carrying out crime as viciously, to that magnitude that you are. So no, we're going to strike a pen mark right across that right now. 2, you just keep saying this famous line you keep saying now, or because someone else said it. At least, like I said before, according to Akala, say that whenever you say that from now on, because you keep saying it like you feel like you say it, like you said it. According to Akala, from what I heard online or in that interview, there's knife crime in Scotland, knife crime in Glasgow. Okay, well let me debunk that right now. Not that I'm questioning Akala, because he too is part of that. He's proving my point. He too is part of that intelligentsia. But he's not being pushed by you, is he? No, exactly. But let me answer that now, right? Let me answer that. A, if you look at Glasgow again, there were initiatives carried out to reduce that. We all know if those initiatives were carried out on you, you start saying it's profiling. B, in Glasgow, what are they? They're Caucasian too. So it's a different dynamic, isn't it? Whenever there's something like colour involved, it's a different dynamic because you stand out more. Does that make sense? Yes or no? Yes. Good. 3, you've normalised it. In places like Glasgow or Scotland, whatever, they're more reactive to it because they don't want that to be the norm, isn't it? So it's a norm to you. There, they want to do something about it. That's a big difference. Goodness sake. Wasn't it that thing in Essex where that girl, unfortunately, that poor Caucasian girl, was sadly unalived, and they had pink balloons everywhere as a sign of solidarity, and to say that they're against that kind of thing? Now, do you do that? No, you don't. So mismove that, okay? Another fundamental thing you seem to forget is you're more individual. You do things on more on an individual basis, whereas these people are more collective, okay? That's why they're going to be more inclined to stamp it out, because they don't want that to be their culture. They don't want that to be their norm. You know what I mean? That's what it is. What it is. Now, you hate me now, don't you? You hate me now because I said that. You hate me because I said that what could be said to be the truth. You hate me. That's fine. I can live with that. You know, I can live with that. Because what's more important? You stopping unfortunate things like knife crime with regards to 13, 14, 15-year-old kids in your own community, or you being butthurt by what I've just said? Because you know what? I think what I've said more has upset you than you reading about some 14, 13-year-old kid that's just been, yeah. And that's the madness about it. That's the mad thing I can't get my head around. That tells me, actually, especially the women, them, that you, what's the word I'm looking for? You are not matriarchal. You're not matriarchal like that. Because if you were, you'd be doing everything to stop what's happening. But what you've actually got is women that are like seeing it as hype and excitement. You know, that's the bad thing. I can't get my head around. You know, whereas other women, nothing happens in their communities, they'll be crying. They'll be devastating. They'll be thinking about that kid 24/7. You know, so and you're not going to like this. When Diane Abbott said, your left-wing Labour MP, your hero, said VWs go to the wall for their children, that's not true. In many cases, they'll be tooling their kids up for the fight. You know, they'll be giving their kid a street name, saying, "Yeah, go on, Tinger, go on, Dazzler, go on, Likey." You know, because most of this crime is actually geared just because guys want to impress women. If you don't know that, then you know what? I can't talk. I'm not going to discuss with you. I'm not going to entertain you. But ultimately, yeah. So, yeah, I know it doesn't sit good. It doesn't. You know what it is? What it actually is, and what feels good with you is two different things. That's why this problem exists. You know. I mean, how can you normalise? Look how far you've fallen. Yeah. Right. From the 90s when it was all positive. Yeah. To where you are now. Okay. Look at the fall from grace. You know, and some of the things I was on the train the other day. I'm gonna close it with this. Yeah, sit down. Oldest white guy sitting opposite me, and there's some youths to my left, like two fair-skinned kids, young guys, sorry, and one's with a white girl. You can see they're strung out. They're talking about Xanax, whatever that is, and pills and blah 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 blah. They're just talking, being a bit rough, being a bit boisterous. And, the sad thing is, this is the norm, yeah? Back in the day, these things they didn't really dream about all this. Knife crime, what? Things like Xanax pills in the black community, what? They're talking like it's the norm. And this guy's looking, you could tell, you could tell, I don't know, they know, before, another thing, they know, okay? Yeah, this is where you fall down as well. Because you've got no peripheral vision, yeah, and you can't see outside yourself, yeah? One thing is they can, okay? They can see into your community, they can see the dysfunction, yeah? So, remember that whenever you discuss with certain things, because when you try to do your deflection thing, you do a little toe tapping and darts and deflecting and doing all that kind of nonsense you do, yeah? It shows, okay? And go back to what I was saying, number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, number 6 is a deflection, okay? Because if Man United win the league, so if Man City win the league, Man United didn't win the league, okay? No? If the LA Rams win a title, the LA Raiders didn't win the title, okay? The point I'm making is, if there's knife crime in Scotland, what's that going to do with your community over here? That's number 6. So, roll it back, add that to number 6. But I digress. Yes. So, to close, this older guy's looking at me, and he's like, he knows. He's like looking at me and look to the left at them. Sorry, look to the right at them. I'm looking at him like, didn't say a word, because you say something, they'll spark off. You know what I mean? Say one little thing. What are you trying to say? You all. He looks at me, I looked at him, and it's like, you can see that you're fallen. You're fallen angels, not even angels. I think you're devils, because, anyway, that's another story. That's another one. Because I want to know what goes on in your churches. Because you all claim to be Pentecostal and go to this church, go to that church, and then so many of you go to church, but so many of you look reckless. But hey, that's another conversation. But yeah, let me leave it here. Let me leave it here for your sake. Yeah, this is Sunday morning church. Yeah, you bet it is. Yeah. Bye. Later.